Hello there folks, today we're gonna take a look at the game called Pirate Rumble. It's published by Mizo and the designers are Lee and Warkey. And in this game you are pirates in this fantasy world fighting each other. So let's take a look at how the game works. So first of all I want to mention that this is not a full production. This is a prototype copy over here, so I can adjust the components. Now, how the Pirate Rumble is played. Pirate Rumble is played over the course of several turns where you choose the cards, you will reveal, and then you will see what happens. You do some gestures as well. So first of all, you will choose a character, and there are several, really nice artwork on them by the way, several characters. And they are a little bit different because you will have your deck of cards where there are standard cards, and then there are like special cards like bomb or shooting twice or anything like that, or using some special resources like fire or something like that, because at the start of the game you will have 5 health and 5 bullets. You will sometimes load up and then you will gain health or lose health, something like that. And the game is played until only one player survives, or if none survives then there will be no winner, but if one player survives then he or she will be declared the winner of the game. But how the game is basically played, so you will have a bunch of cards based on your character. I'll just take them randomly right now. So, and then you will hold your resources behind the screen, your health of course and the bullets, and then you will have a hand of cards, let's say like that, and everyone will choose a card, put it down, and then you will reveal the card simultaneously and doing the gesture that is shown on the card immediately. For example, shooting, you do something like that, so you will choose an opponent immediately to shoot, and so on, like kind of like catching guns style. And there's the usual shooting, and you're using the different gestures that are like fire, something like, I don't know, doing something like that, and the dodge, which as you can see I cannot do it in camera right now, and search. So the search is a nice card because it lets you get one of these cards at the center. These are the one-time cards, so basically your deck you can get your card back eventually, but these are one-time cards, but these are like extra cards. So whenever you do the search you immediately put your fingers on one of the cards, whoever is the first one to get the card grabs the card from the center. Now you have an extra card. And the thing is that when you play a card, the next turn when you have to play another card, you will play this other card and you will get your previous card back into the hand. So basically kind of a like rotation of cards going on here. And that's how it is. Those different cards, they take the bullets away from you because you're firing or shooting like that. They will hurt the other players. You will just point at the other players, but with those different special gestures, or block. You will do that sign and you will block or steal. You will tap the shoulder or something like that. You will steal from another player some bullets or any other resources. So you will lose health and so on. And as I told you, whoever is the last one standing will be the winner of the game. And that's how the Pirate Rumble is basically played. But let me just grab here. These are the camp cards. So there's the boss and there's the subordinate. Basically these are the teams. So you can play a team variant as well. But yeah, the basic variant is just revealing cards, doing gestures, and trying to kill each other and heal yourself. And that's Pirate Rumble. So as I have the prototype copy or a preview copy, so they told me that this is basically the final thing, but it just that I don't have the final components, so I cannot judge the components and artwork in here. Though there is artwork, but because this is just one segment as it is, the components and artwork are together, then I will not judge that based on that preview copy. But let's get to the theme. And the theme of this game, pirates fighting each other. And that's basically what it is. You are fighting each other and you're doing all those different gestures which add to the overall theme. If you shoot, you do it like that. If you block, you do it like that. And that's where I think the theme works. I mean, the theme is as it is. in this game. It's a party game. There shouldn't be too much theme. Party games are usually a little bit more abstractish, in my opinion. And this one is like the same with the bang, you know, it's very similar to the bang. And in the bang, you don't really feel like you are a gangster, but on the other hand, when you point guns at each other, you kind of feel that. So here it's the same with the gestures. So I think the thing works. Maybe I don't feel myself as a pirate, because the pirates for me are you know, those swords and things, and I don't know, just I don't feel myself pirate, but I feel like fighting each other. And with the gestures, it adds to the theme. So I'll give the theme 4 out of 5. Let's go to the mechanics. Now, let me be clear. I don't like the game. I don't like the game for the reason that it feels like this bang, but in a more convoluted way. Now, there is that central board, but the cards in the center that you can grab by doing search, and then you slap your hands over there. I don't like that. I don't like people slapping their hands in the center and maybe hurting each other. I just don't like that in games overly. We can do gestures and point and thing, and that's funny. That's funny for 1 or 2 times. That's great as well. I mean, great. But yeah, I don't like slapping hands in the center altogether. Then, yeah, the other thing I'll talk about, the gestures. It's nice, but I wasn't also a big fan of bang. I like the bang for what it is, but I don't like too much of player elimination, or I like the player elimination in certain ways, like in King of Tokyo, I like it. I don't know why, but in some games I don't like it. In Bang, I was okay with that. In here, it just felt too random. And that's weird, because all those party games where there's player elimination, they are kinda random, when people are all attacking each other and then somebody just gets killed off in a turn or two because something happened. Or, you know, like in this game, somebody threw 2 grenades at that other player and he couldn't heal and whatever, or block, whatever, and he's done and he's gone. And this game is rather fast. It's not a big problem for some people, but for me, here it was maybe a little bit too random. I like, with some games, for example, there are identities, let's say, in those party games where you have that team or that team, you know, resistance, werewolf, and so on, where you have kind of identities you are trying to find. And for example, in Escape from the Aliens in Outer Space, if I just start blindly attacking another player without knowing if he's an alien or a human player, and I'm an alien, let's say, I can accidentally kill my fellow alien, and thus making the game more difficult for me, like winning more difficult for me. So I like to have identities in those kinds of party games, though I don't usually like that many of those party games. I mean, it's not really for me, the bluffing, outguessing in a partyish way and pointing at each other. It's not my thing at all. But if I would play that, I need identities. That's where it works much better for me, at least, and in my opinion. But in this game, you just point at each other at random, do those gestures, and I mean, some people can be very persistent on how you do those gestures. Let them be, don't play with them. It's all about just trying to do something what's shown on the picture to get the stuff right. And the simultaneous reveal is nice, but overly just, this game was just boring, you know. There was nothing that was different from the other games, except it was just everyone was at each other's throat, and eventually, maybe accidentally, we all killed just one person, and then all the others pile up on me as well. And mechanically, it's just too much randomness. I need some certainties. The nice part is that there are different characters that give you different cards, which are kind of abilities, but they're not that extremely cool and relevant. I didn't feel like very different. I kind of felt different, so it's it's nice and it's not. I just, if that would be like, my deck would be even more different, that I would feel that. But when my deck was a little bit different, and some felt like a little bit more overpowered than the other characters, I just cannot tell exactly. I haven't played it too much, but yeah, it just doesn't work for me. And I give mechanics 2 out of 5 because there are some nice things, but there are some bad things for me. Regarding replayability, although there are a lot of those characters and you can do different gestures, and based on what happened you react to that, and that should add to replayability. It kind of adds to that. On the other hand, doing all those gestures is fun 1 or 2 times, at least for me. That's my personal opinion. And then it becomes a little bit of a nuisance because you're looking at all those cards, you're trying to do all those things right, you're always trying to do the gestures, and it becomes a nuisance at some point. You know, in Bang, for example, you just have a gun and you point a gun at someone, and that's it. That's the only gesture. You can add a gesture, you want to add a gesture, do that. Don't do too many of them. And there are quite a few of those different gestures that you need to follow and do, and when everybody does all the different things, you're like, you kind of understand the block and everything like that, but sometimes the shootings, and there are a little bit different shootings and so on, and I just, or let's say, if you do the dodge, then you need to do like Matrix style thing, but if you're sitting at the table, how you do that, you know? So I feel like it becomes very samey each time because you don't feel too much different with those gestures, and eventually you will just get tired of that. So replayability 3 out of 5. And the scale, this game does not scale that well. I mean, like, it says 3 to 8 on the box, but 6 to 8. That would be the better way, or maybe 5, but I would say 6 to 8. That's a nice thing. Less than that, less players than that, doesn't really work for me. This game is very, you know, it's very random, in your face, cutthroats, you fight each other. It has to be more players. If you still enjoy the game, let's say you have very different opinion from me, then play with 6 to 8 players. Don't play with less players, because otherwise it's just, doesn't really work. So the scale for me gets 2 out of 5. So the whole thing, the maximum in this video should be then 20 points, and this game gets 11 out of 20. So it's totally middle. And I don't think I can recommend this game, even if I would have the full components, I mean the retail components that are coming, not the preview copy. I would still be hesitant to recommend this kind of a party game, because it has a little bit too much going on for that too much of the randomness. And I told you that I want to, although there are different characters, and I am a different character, but what differentiates me are some special cards, and that's it. And I don't feel like I'm in some kind of I'm some kind of a person overly. Don't get me wrong, there is that team variant, but I don't feel that fixes the problem. And it's a variant, and you can play in teams as well, but I don't know, not for me. Anyway, this is Pirate Rumble. So thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all of those links are in the description below. And we'll see you in yet another video. Bye bye. This channel is sponsored by Osprey Games. Check them out at ospreypublishing.com.